You are now in tune to the Keys to the City podcast.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Another edition of Keys to the City. I'm your host, Trevor Keys, alongside the big brother, Ted Keys. What a show we got for you today. Ted, we're going to be talking about some NBA draft, and your Orlando Magic may have had the most surprising pick from last night. We'll talk about.
I like it.
I love it too, man. We'll talk about it in a little while. Takeaways from the NBA draft. But let's start off with, there was another huge night for, yes, us Yankee fans. And I like to always think of years, especially with my teams, and especially if there's a team that has title hopes, like the New York Yankees have had for the past 5 years. And, well, we know the results of those 5 years. They haven't gotten it done. But then, like you see sometimes with teams, like when the team that comes to mind for me when I think of it just feels differently. I know it's weird, but it maybe is the 2020 LA Lakers. And the reason why I say that is because, yes, the whole COVID, everything hit, the bubble, and how that all transpired. But you felt like when the day that Kobe Bryant passed away, speaking of devil behind me, you just felt like it was destined for the Lakers to win that title that year. And they ended up doing that. They won the title in the bubble against the Miami Heat. So I'm related to this Yankee team because the past 5 years, we've seen this team come up so short in the playoffs. But what we've seen the past 2 nights, Ted, especially against two foes that have been the kryptonite to the New York Yankees' success recently. It's been the Tampa Bay Rays and the Houston Astros. And both nights down multiple runs late in games to find ways to come back both times, delivering in the clutch. We haven't seen that like we have in the past. Maybe 2017 felt like that, but that team came up short, but we never expected it to get to where it was that year. Now we're 5 years later and we're thinking, well, Ted, does this feel differently? And if we don't think it is, just look at the last 2 nights, Ted.
Oh my God. I mean, man, is it great to be a Yankee fan. And you would say, well,
I ain't complaining.
What are you talking about? I mean, this year has been so far historic.
Yeah.
I mean, we can get into the numbers. We can beat that drum up. We know this team is just so fun to watch. I'm loving everything about it. I mean, 15 straight home wins last night, continue the streak, back-to-back nights with walk-off wins. They're doing it every different way. You sent me an article today. Is this pitching staff and this Yankee team defensively one of the best teams of all time in the sense of they're not giving up any runs? They give up, 3.02 runs a game. They score more runs than anyone in baseball, 5+ runs a game. So the difference is the reason why – they still don't have 20 wins so far this season, 52+ wins so far.
Wins. No, they have 20 losses. They don't even have 20 losses right now after 70 games, bro.
I mean, another great stat I texted to you before last night on Facebook when I saw it. 158 straight losses, Yankees, when they went into the 9th inning trailing by 3+ runs. And, I would say that our feeling in past years is, here we go again. Like, they hit the home run last night. Bregman, bang! I'm like, oh, here we go. 3-0. You're like, oh, it's going to be a blowout. It's going to be one of those games. Yankees are coming off a high from the night before. They fight back. Boom, 3-run shot. Stanton comes right back, ties it up. Then the Yankees don't get another hit until the 9th inning, from the 3rd inning on to the 9th inning. They didn't do anything really last night, but they held it together, and then they come back. Hicks, man, I mean –
yeah, that's a big deal, Ted.
Steve Young when he wins the Super Bowl in 1995, and he pulled and it was like pulling the monkey
off the back.
You can see Hicks last night, like a whole new person, just exuberated coming out. I mean, finally, 45,000 people in the stand, 45,000 people, the sellout crowd, the place was rocking. It felt like an ALCS game. He hits the tying thing, and then for them to functionalize and get another run to get the win, after IKF gets thrown out at second, which he was not out.
I remember I was on the phone when you said that. You were let's just say the words can't be repeated on this.
The slide, but DJ gets the walk. Trevino gets on the base. And,
Yeah.
of course, the man of the hour, Aaron Judge, the night before his arbitration.
Man of the hour. How about the man of the year right now? I mean, my God. He's just like, I mean, we could talk about that in a sec because that's a whole nother debate. That's a whole nother topic to discuss. Is the whole.
Trev, every night they're fine. They're blowing. They're 9 walk-off wins, more than any in Major League Baseball this year. They are so fun to watch. They're excited. And you know what's incredible? You got still guys like Joey Gallo on the team who are like 0 for 4 with 3 Ks, but it's like you don't even recognize it because they're
like,
just
that's
they're winning.
I'm so glad you said that because it's like, yeah, you think of like everybody has like their issues with their teams and stuff, and then you look at the Yankees and like the biggest issue they probably have is like Joey Gallo, or maybe finding like somebody in the back end of the rotation or something, or maybe in the bullpen. But other than that, there's not a lot of things to really, I don't know, go dive into and try, unless you're really trying to look under the microscope of something and you're just trying to find a way to just go after the Yankees. You really don't have any explanation for their weakness right now. I mean, the hitting, the clutch hitting, the runs, the pitching. They have an ERA right now of 2.88 ERA. That's their ERA currently right now in baseball.
Trev, they're number one in runs scored.
I know.
They're
And they're starting rotation.
They're second in slugging. They're leading the league in home runs, which is no surprise. Their earned run average is second in the league. Whip is first. Batting average against, they're first in the league. I mean, all their stats speak to why they are the best team in baseball right now on June 24th. And it's not even close. It's not even close. And I don't want to hear about their schedule either.
Oh no, that if you're just finding a way with the scheduling thing, then you're just you got nothing better to do with yourself. Hold on. Here's the thing. The biggest issue that the Yankees had has come down to earth at some point. Oh yeah, the past 2 days, I mean, they've been struggling with the pitching, but it's still been a huge asset for this team right now. It hasn't been a liability, nothing. The biggest concern for me was something that got taken care of today, was this Aaron Judge arbitration deal. And he got it. They settled. They agreed 1 year, $19 million to avoid arbitration. I know that arbitration usually happens in the offseason, but due to that whole lockout situation, they had to push that back. So the Yankees got that figured out. Next is trying to lock up 99 long term, which right now, Ted, I don't know how much money that's going to be, but we're talking at least first dot should be over 320. 320, not 300.
Start with 3.
Here's the thing. When Aaron Judge really has all to say. But if the Yankees don't want to,
they can literally just say, the Yankees,
because guess what? Look what he's been doing. He is the main reason. I know that everybody has been having a big part into the Yankee success right now. But we all have to realize that Aaron Judge right now is the best player in baseball. He's been delivering from the start, home runs, clutch hitting. I mean, he's doing
What are you paying him right now, though?
You have to start. My whole thing is you have to start not just at 3 million or 300 million, because I feel like 300 million is like the new 200 million. It's just like old news.
But it all depends on the years too, Trev.
I know, but for a player of his magnitude, where you got what he's in the debate, he's in the comparison of the Mike Trouts, he's in the comparison of the Mookie Betts, he's in comparison with the biggest names of baseball.
Right now, though, he's in the comparison.
Is he going somewhere?
But here's what the Yankee fans have to understand.
There we go. There's about.
Listen, that's maybe what the Mets are probably going to pay him or offer him. Here's a lot of things that we have to come back to earth with a little bit of this. This isn't just about one season, too. It's great that he, in his last season of arbitration before he could possibly be a free agent, he was having an historical career. I mean, a historical season. He's on pace for 63 home runs. He's on pace for 120 plus RBI. He's on pace to win. I mean, every AL award. Here's the other thing. He also has 2 bonuses in arbitration. If he wins AL MVP, it's a $250,000 bonus. If he wins World Series MVP, he's another $250,000 bonus. But the reason why I say come back to earth is because you have to also consider what he's done the past 4 or 5 years with injuries. That you can't forget about that. I understand 2017 he was a rookie year and should have won the MVP. But then the next 3 years he got hurt. This year,
Bryce Harper deals with injuries. Mike Trout deals with injuries.
I
These guys
know,
still
but
got paid.
here's the also when this deal kicks in, he'll be 31 years old. So baseball
I'm
players.
not talking 10.
Their
Dude, Ted,
contracts
here's
are
the thing.
guaranteed. They
I'm not
want.
talking 10 years, though.
I'm not going 10 years.
No.
I think he's going to want 8 years. So you're going to pay Aaron Judge up to 39 years old? Because I'm looking at if you're saying this is where I think we might be on the same page. If you want to go to 320, he's going to want 8 years. That means $40 million a year because where you got to get to is that $36 million arbitration.
So he's the highest paid player in baseball. Okay, that's perfect. He wants to keep
8 years, $320 million for him.
He wants it. Ted, we just listened to a video of Buster Only, and he said
someone will pay him that.
Somebody's going to pay him the money. Whatever it's going to be, somebody's going to pay him the money. My thing is 8 years, 320. He wants to be in the ballpark of what Mike Trout is averaging, $36 million per year.
He deserves it.
That's what I'm saying. So 8 years, 320. Yeah, it's $40 million per year. Okay, it's not 10. It's 8 years. It's okay.
But he'll be 39 when that contract goes out, Trev. You're going to have him stand.
So let's just.
I get it. You don't worry about the last 3 years. You eat it.
I don't care.
You pray for the next 5.
Exactly. So my point from what I'm just hearing, then you don't want to give him it. Okay, so let's dump him and get nothing then, because that's what's going to happen if the Yankees don't pay him. He's going to walk. He's not going to take a cheaper deal. He's going to ask for money, and deservingly so this season. I know he's had the injury issues. I get that. But so is Mike Trout. So is Jacob deGrom. So is Bryce Harper. And those guys are still getting paid big-ass bucks because they are great players. Just like Aaron Judge. I know he's dealing with injuries. But when he's on the field, he's always been the most consistent player for the New York Yankees. When he's come up since 2016, and then 2017 had his historical rookie season, he has delivered for them consistently. And if you don't want to pay him the money that he's asking for, somebody's going to pay him, whether it's the Mets, whether it's the Red Sox, whether it's the Giants. God forbid it's the LA Dodgers. I mean, LA just got to be, I don't know what the hell they're producing out there with money, because the LA Rams are just paying everybody billions and billions of dollars. They got beautiful stadiums. I just don't get it. But my thing is that if you let him walk, somebody's going to pay him the big bucks.
All right, so can I ask you a question? I'm just thinking about this while you were talking, and I'd love to post this for a question for everyone. Do you know the Yankees have no problem posting out what they offer? If the Yankees offer 8 years and 320, right, and that's their number, they're not going to go higher, maybe 330, but 320. Say we're going 8 years, 320 with the $40 million. Judge rejects it and wants more. Who do you think is going to look worse more, the Yankees or Judge? If Judge chases,
no. At that point,
say the Mets. Say the Mets.
I'll answer it. Real 100%. Judge looks bad because you're asking. You want the money. You want the ballpark of Mike Trout. Well, you just went. Oh, you're at 40 million. There's not even nobody nowhere close to you in that situation now. So if you're saying no to that, I will not put any blame on the New York Yankees. They did their part. If Aaron Judge says no and their camp says no, we don't want that deal, then you look selfish, which I don't expect Aaron Judge to. If he's especially gets a deal like 8 years, 320, I don't see him saying no to that. My thing is, I know that we have to worry about that. I just want to get back to talking about the Yankees in general, because I know that this whole Judge situation is like almost a dark cloud looming, because we don't know what's going to happen.
But
we don't know if Aaron Judge is going to be a Yankee next year.
A little bit today, though, bud. The arbitration that they never went to arbitration, that they were able to. It's like they settled out of court. We didn't have to worry about all that stuff. I like that. They worked together. They came in between. It was $17 million. It was getting paid. It was arbitration up to 21. They settled at 19. Yep. So I think the Yankees understand what they got right now. I mean, right now we have the best player in baseball. Right now, June 24th, 2022, there's no better baseball player right now in major leagues than Aaron Judge. Don't give me the Ohtani. Don't give me Mike Trout. Don't give me Betts. Don't give me this guy, that guy. It's Aaron Judge. He is the best player in baseball right now. He's playing phenomenal defense. He's hitting. He's clutch. I mean, the thing this year was he's got no walk-off. He's not clutch. Been pretty clutch lately.
This has been the whole team, and he's been the anchor. He's been the catalyst of this team now.
He's the captain now. It's like the movie. I'm the captain now.
Yeah,
if he gets the deal, he will be the next captain of the New York Yankees. 100%. And Aaron Judge is now starting to get let in. It's like the movie Animal House. He's starting. If he leads them to a championship, has this historical season, right?
Yeah.
He will now be entered into the fraternity house with the guys like Derek Jeter, Babe Ruth, Maris. Man, that's where Aaron Judge is going toward. That he right now he's knocking on the door. He's in the entrance. He's still part of the It's like the movie.
Oh, I get it. He's part of the gang, but he's not fully inside with the gang. He's not there. He's not.
He hasn't won anything yet.
He's kind of like the outside guy. Like, hey guys, I want to be cool with you guys. I'm knocking on the door. Well, got to knock that door down and win a championship. But this Yankee team right now, it just overall, he's been the main. I mean, I know that we always like to say, well, who's the reason for it? It's just been everything. It's been a combination of everything for the New York Yankees. But Aaron Judge, what he's been doing from start to finish, or not start, has been incredible. Nothing short of incredible. And this Yankee team, this team is, I wouldn't even say that. They said some people compared it to like the 98 team, Stevie, which is, I mean, for us, we know was the most historical team, probably in the sense of wins and championship that year too. Judge's prospect. And my thing is the biggest question is Aaron Judge. The Yankees have been doing their part. They're 52-18, 70 games. It's incredible that they still don't have 20 losses right now. This is different. This feels different as a New York Yankee fan. And if we don't want to agree, and if there's people that don't want to agree with it, that's fine. Just go back and look at the last two nights against their two ultimate kryptonites for the past 5 or 6 years, minus the Red Sox. They found ways to win, come from behind, multiple runs, and to win clutch. It just speaks differently for the New York Yankees.
Because in past years, they would have lost these games, bud.
100% agree, too. And right now, as a Yankee fan, you can't be much more any more happy. You can't be any more happier.
Even if you go to the Rays game, right? Clay Holmes has a bad outing. He gives up the runs. They tie the game, and we find a way to win it in the ninth, and then we shut it down, right? Everyone's stepping up. Domingo Germán's getting his rehab right now. Chapman's going to be coming back. I'd hold those. I mean, you got to think about this in the long run. Got to keep this thing. I think the only thing that we have to worry about as a Yankee fan is our pitching staff and rotation, where guys like Cortez and Tejon and other guys haven't had the innings where they've had 150, 200. Are they going to be able to survive the long run? But hey, listen, I have faith in the New York Yankees. Look at Abreu pitched last night. He got dropped for Trevino. Gets traded, comes back, and last night looks good. He looks back to form. I think everything for the Yankees right now and Brian Cashman. I know we jumped on Brian Cashman offseason. Everything right now for the Yankees is clicking.
And yeah, I don't want to be like the Debbie Downer or the devil's advocate. Let's enjoy the moment, but we ultimately know what Kobe Bryant, I always say, is one of my favorite lines of all time. When the Lakers were up 2-0. I think it was either Orlando Magic or the Boston. I'm forgetting the team. And the person asked, well, why aren't you smiling? And he said one very simple term. Job's not finished.
Probably the Magic.
Yes, I think it might have been the Magic. But job's not finished. Yes, they're 52-18. Thank you. It was the Magic, T, actually.
Well, the Magic should have won game one.
We're not getting. We're not. No.
Courtney Lee had the layup right there, and he missed it.
I actually do. I do remember that, Courtney Lee. But back to that, job's not finished. Yes, they're 52-18. They're dominating, but we have to see what this team does in the postseason. It's all about a championship.
Because as a New York Yankee,
and the pressure, you'll never have any more greater pressure as a New York Yankee team than you do right now. And it's time for them to continue to play. They're doing it. They're hitting. They're pitching. They're clutch. It's working. Let's see if it continues throughout the season. We are Keys to the City. We're streaming on all social media platforms. So check us out if you want to. If you like listening to the Keys brothers. But we were just talking about the Orlando Magic. And, well, last night was the NBA draft. And I know that, well, you don't get to see a lot of this from an Orlando Magic fan. Usually they're like getting the worst luck. Sometimes they're like the 4th or 5th pick. Well, this year they got the number 1 pick. And we've seen that when the Orlando Magic get the number 1 pick, it delivers. Kind of delivers. Shaq. Then you get Dwight. It has delivered for them in the past.
Well, we also signed Chris. We also drafted Chris Webber. We're trading for Penny Hardaway. But we know what's going to happen in 6 years. He'll be playing for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Bring him home, baby. Come on. Bring him home, LA. LA would love him. We need it. We need it. We need that. We need that.
Yeah,
We need
because
we need
LeBron will be
something new.
playing in Cleveland with his son, and
Oh,
yeah.
here we go. Here we go. Here we go. But yeah, Ted, last night, the NBA draft, my biggest takeaway was the number one pick, the most surprising takeaway from last night's, because all we heard, and from all the rumors and the reports that people are saying, oh, there's going to be a lot of trades, which there were, but the biggest names that we've seen traded in the past week are Jeremy Grant, Christian Wood, and last night, once again, Kemba Walker has a new home. There was not any big trades. I know. I don't even think it's funny because I want Kemba to do well. I'm a huge Kemba fan, as are you. So to see him not work out in New York was kind of upsetting. And we'll talk about the Knicks because the one team in New York that doesn't seem like they got their head on straight is the New York Knicks, because what the hell are they doing? We'll talk about them in a sec. But what was the number one pick, Ted? You're Orlando Magic. You know what? The floor is yours. You're a Magic fan. How do you feel?
So here's the thing. I do watch a lot of college basketball, but I didn't see much of Jabari Smith from Auburn. I'll be dead honest. I did not see much, but everything that you read from, the analysts or, the experts and people was he's very athletic, 6'10", can shoot the three. I think he's a better shooter, I think, than Paolo Banchero. But here's the thing. Paolo was the best when the team needed him the most. He was there. Listen, if you're a Duke fan too, so you had to be happy. You had 4 players drafted.
Oh, I was celebrating. I was like, because I was at the bar and I just I saw the name and I was like, yes, because from what we heard, we all thought it was going to be either Holmgren or Smith, and Banchero kind of got like a late push in the betting odds, to go number 1. But I was very surprised. I was stunned that it was Paolo Banchero.
Well, I was stunned only because when you heard and you listened to the experts, they're saying it was Holmgren or it was Jabari Smith. And listen, I think all 3 of those guys, even Jaden Ivey, who went 5. And listen, I have nothing against Keegan Murray, but I think those 4 guys for me stand out the most. And I think impact right off the bat.
Yeah.
Listen, we know what Holmgren brings, right? He's long, he's lanky.
Let's remember this tweet. Nikola Jovic. That's not a typo. I think he went to Denver too. So we'll keep an eye on that.
And who was the? And what was it? One team drafted 2 Jalen.
Oh yeah, Jalen Williams.
Jalen Williams. One from Arkansas, and I forget where the other one was. But I think Banchero, when he comes in, he's the most pro ready right now. Body type, he's 6'10". He's about 245, 250. He's got size. Forward. I mean, he's good size. He's got a great mid-range. He plays good defense. Of course, he's got to mature his body. He's still young. He's only 18, 19 years old. He's got to work on his lateral quickness, but he can shoot the ball. He can score. He's going to add versatility to that Magic team. Listen, the Magic, we were going through the roster, have tons of young players. I mean, everyone on the team is pretty much under 24 except for Terrence Ross and
Robin Lopez.
And they're all lottery picks. So, I mean, you got Jalen Suggs and Markelle Fultz at guard. You got Wendell Carter. You got
Don't forget
Bamba. And with the big guys underneath, you put Banchero at power forward. You can go small. You can go big. He adds versatility. He's going to come in right off the bat and be able to add offense to this team. You got to like where they went with. I think the Magic go, all right, Jabari Smith, does he really fit? He's really good, but I don't know. I don't know if he really fits. Where does he fit?
The thing is, they needed wing scores.
They didn't need Holmgren because I just don't think he fits in where, like, it would have been too many big guys. Like, we're in a league of guards and wing players, not big guys. And Holmgren, yeah, I get it. He's 7'2". He can dribble, he can shoot, can play defense, but he doesn't have the big broad shoulders. Like, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to put on a weight. 7'2", 190 pounds. I mean, he needs to get to, he doesn't have the Giannis shoulders, bro. And I don't ever see him being nice. I don't know if he'll ever. I think him being as a Porzingis. I really do. Good player. I don't know if he'll ever be where you want to be. I think Jaden Ivey can be a bigger version of Ja Morant, explosive. I mean, he could score, get to the hole. He's got to work on his outside shooting. But listen, you can't knock his athleticism. But I love where the Magic went. It's a steal, I think, because a lot of people didn't have him at number 1. I think he's the most pro-ready. I think it's going to – for this Magic team, it's about just building, man. I mean, they got young talent there, getting the right coach and they do have a good coach, but Bill, I mean, because the East is stacked. I know I'm rambling, but the East is stacked right now. This is a team that's building for 2 to 3 years down the road. Hopefully, we're not picking in the lottery next year, but we'll see what happens. But I like what they did. About this kid Paulo Banchero all year, a Duke player, best player.
I mean, my thing was about this whole debate with Holmgren, Jabari Smith, and Banchero. Holmgren, yes, has the length, has the ability to stretch the floor, and with today's NBA, having bigs that could stretch the floor are very valuable. The
But he
Magic
can get
didn't.
pushed around.
But my thing is, when I look at those three, and I know I could call me biased, I don't really care. I felt that Paulo Banchero was the best player in this draft. I watched him in the tournament, watch him deliver, get into the Duke Blue Devils to the Final Four. He was a huge integral part of that team, probably the main guy. He was the offensive go-to guy for them. Defensively, he impressed me too. I know Jabari Smith has a clean jump shot, and he's going to be a great shooter in this league. And I think he's going to flourish in Houston with.
I think he fits very well in the Houston.
Yes, and I think the people that went, like I said, Jabari Smith going to Houston, that's going to be a deadly duo for years to come. And I really like what the Pistons also did, getting Jaden Ivey at 5 and teaming him up with Cade Cunningham in an Eastern Conference that has guards galore. And you have to have guards in this league to survive and to be successful. And I think you have two special ones in Cade Cunningham and now Jaden Ivey. And that's another thing. When I look at this draft, the players that come out of this, who's going to be the best, most successful, you always like to revert back to, whoa, what team did selected them? Is the fit going to be right? We don't know how, if any of these guys, I mean, Banchero, who knows? I don't want to see anybody fail, but in the sense, we don't know how it's going to pan out. All we can do is just wait and see. But when I saw this draft, I was just stunned that it was Banchero with the number 1 pick. I was stunned. I did not expect him to go number 1. I told you that he should have, because
he was the most pro-ready. He was dominant during the tournament, shot 52% from the 3, has great size, can pass. And you think about it, like I said, Trev, the Magic already have the backcourt players who are good with the balls in it. So Banchero, he can score from all 3 levels. He can post up. He can hit the mid-range. He can shoot 3. It's going to give them a lot of versatility. I love what the Magic did. I think you got to look at all 4, the top 5 picks. The only one I think people question is the Kings pick.
My thing about the Kings, that whole situation. I never know what the
Kings are doing.
I know. My whole thing about that is, were they really going to take another guard? I mean, they took Halliburton. He's not even on the team. They already have De'Aaron Fox. And then last year they took Davion Mitchell from Baylor. Did they really need to take another guard? That was my whole thing about the whole. And I know they were probably trying to trade out. And I know the Knicks were trying to move up to maybe get Ivy. That was
the Knicks traded their pick.
I know that, but they were looking. But they were big on Ivy, and they were probably trying to. The Kings, from what we've seen in the past, and I sent you that little photo, maybe it was a good thing they passed on Ivy, because go with the other guy. And what we've seen with them, they've messed up miserably in the NBA draft. Speaking of a team that, well, we've just been talking great. The New York sports right now, everything looks to be coming back to normal. Giants are in rebuild, but there's promise, it looks like. The Jets, they're in rebuild, but it looks like there's promise. The Yankees, the Mets, well, they're dominating baseball. The Rangers just got to the Eastern Conference Finals. The Islanders were just in the playoffs a couple of years ago. They've been in the playoffs. They've been one of the consistent teams in the NHL. And then you have, Ted, the good old New York Knicks. The one New York team that we can sit here and say, what the hell are they doing? I just don't understand the New York Knicks. Yes, they free up some cap space, and now they could go after a guy like Jalen Brunson or even a Kyrie, but still, I just don't understand the Knicks, and I really do believe that if you're a Knicks fan, bing bong.
Stephen A. Smith.
How about this, New York fans? You don't always like your little jokes. Bing bong, because you're a bunch of bing bongs. You don't know what the hell you're doing.
Listen, they say they're trying to create salary cap space. What? So you can overpay for Jalen Brunson? He's never he's never going to be an all-star. He fits what Dallas Mavericks need from him. Yeah. If the Knicks are going to go overpay for Jalen Brunson, good luck, have fun. But Listen, I like Jalen Brunson. He is a really good player. But what you're trying, you want to go get money, you go get guys like Kyrie Irving, you go guys like Kevin Durant. But you ever notice the Knicks every year we're going to get salary cap? Do you realize no one wants to come play with you? All these years, LeBron didn't want to come there, Durant didn't want there, Kyrie don't want to come there. No one wants to go play for you because you have to show. Here's the problem. This is a team.
You have
thing.
to show some sort of common sense.
Well, not even common sense. You got to win a little bit. Like, why do you think certain guys go to certain teams? They want to win. Like, you don't see any free agent running to go play for the Detroit Pistons. I mean, yeah, maybe the Detroit Pistons are going to get DeAndre Ayton and then form that up with Kate Cunningham and build a young squad going forward. But I mean, like, if you're a Knicks fan, I don't know. I mean, Julius Randle, I agree. That's what you're building. Like, he's not a number one. Like, he's closer to a number 3 than he is a number 1. I mean, Jalen Brunson, he's a number 3. Like, Jalen Brunson's a nice number 3. Like, he fits what the Mavs want to do with you, Christian Wood, Jalen Brunson, and Luka, and they can get another shooter. That's more likely where it's going to be.
Knicks are full of role players. I 100% agree with that. Like I said, I agree. I do agree with that. It's just the Knicks. Like I just said, the Knicks to me, the franchise as a whole, is just a big ball. It's just a big ball. It's a big ball because they just
don't build your young players up. Like perfect example, right? Let's look at the two teams that
were. The day the Knicks become relevant is the day they get rid of James Dolan.
What that? It's James Dolan ain't making all the picks. It's their GM.
I know that, but he's a bum.
Oh, listen, he does well for here's the thing. He does well for the Rangers, but that's also because he lets the hockey people do the hockey stuff. He doesn't interfere. He just makes sure he funds it.
Yeah.
But look at the two teams who are in the recent championship, right? The Celtics and the Warriors. They take these young players and they get them better. They build them up. There's a system to their madness. And you see where it comes. I mean, look at Klay Thompson, 11th pick. Boom. Curry. I mean, Draymond Green. I mean, they make these young players, they build them up, they get them better. Like, when's the last time they remember Nick being drafted and then you progress him, he gets to a point. You know what I mean? Like, you look at the Cleveland Cavs, we knocked them, but you look at where their young talent, Evan Mobley, Darius Garland. I mean, they got young players on that team that they're building and they're getting to where they were almost a playoff team this year. They play in the play-in game, but next year you got to look at that team as being one of the 8 best teams in that East again and being right there and getting better because they're young, they're athletic, and they got a good coach. You know, the Knicks think they're the Lakers, the Warriors, the Celtics. They're not. They're not at that level. The Knicks are where the Magic are. The Kings are at. That's where the Knicks are at. The only reason why they have the respect is because they're the New York Knicks. If they were somewhere else and not in New York, you wouldn't talk about them because they're in New York and they're the New York Knicks and the historical franchise that they are, we feel a need to talk about them. I don't like anything they did last night. Here's my thing. If you're a Knicks fan and you like someone in that draft, you go get them. Stop worrying about draft picks in this. But you know what? We'll see what happens. The Knicks, they're like boo balls. They get you all excited, but at the end of the day, nothing's going to come from it. They'll miss the playoffs again.
That's really how you just related the New York Knicks?
I couldn't come up with it. It just popped in my head.
That's really what you. Wow, you are truly.
Give me a better.
You're a bit.
Give me a better center. Give me something better.
You should be a Knicks fan because you're a bing bong yourself.
You don't like that metaphor, huh? Oh, give me something better that you can think of right now, smart guy.
I don't. So
exactly.
I let you know. Yeah.
Because your brain's not like a Ferrari. It doesn't go this fast.
Oh man! Well, good luck to the New York Knicks.
Listen, I gotta keep it interesting, bro.
The Pistons, love what the Pistons did, love what the Rockets did. Magic, big fan of Banchero. I think they have.
I like it, baby. I'm a Magic fan. Gotta love what they're doing.
Hopefully they can figure it out because that Eastern Conference. Well, we'll see. It runs through Milwaukee, it runs through Boston. Well, you gotta get it right. Just look at how the Celtics have done it, and look at how the Golden State Warriors did it. You can still win in this league if you just hit on your draft picks. It's a big if. It's a big ask. But you can do it. We'll see what happens. We'll see how they plan out. Next week, we'll be back talking NFL football. We have to get to some NFL football because, Ted, we are almost in July. I hate to say that to you, but it's almost July.
You know what we're going to be talking about in a week? In 5 days, Kyrie Irving's got to make a decision about if he's going to take his player option and sign with the Nets. So we're going to be talking NBA free agency. It all starts next week.
Yeah.
July 1st, we're talking NBA free agency. What happens with Kyrie? Does Kevin Durant get traded? What happens with that? Hey, maybe the Knicks go get a superstar, and I'm eating my own words. What do the Lakers do? What do the Mavs do? Do they put another shooter or scorer around Luka? It's going to be very interesting. Warriors have to make some big decisions. They got a lot of players to make decisions on because they're going to have to pay a lot of luxury tax if they want to keep that team together. So we'll see what happens.
And could be also seeing an NHL new champion tonight. Colorado Avalanche going for the finish over the two-time defending champs Tampa Bay Lightning. So we'll see how that. If the Colorado Avalanche win, to all Avalanche fans out there, congratulations. Don't know if they're going to win, but we'll see. A lot to talk about in the sports world. We will be back next week. We are on all social media platforms, so check us out at Keys to the City. We are out.
You are now in tune to the Keys to the City podcast.